that said, it seemed like we were fighting the puck a little bit. It was difficult for us in both gray zones, offensively and defensively. We had a hard time moving easy pucks through it and bringing easy pucks through theirs. Their defensemen did a nice job of holding us up at the blue line. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the way our players were carrying themselves and so on, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of jitters, but I certainly think that the stage and the situation did affect our play just a little bit. And like you said, it's brand new for us, and it was for them too. Yeah, I thought that's what it looked like to us, and oftentimes a little bit hesitant, slow to move the puck, which at times we've seen before. Every team does.
Were you able to regroup after the first no goal call? It seemed like it didn't let it get to them. It seemed like they kept on with the pressure, and you guys were trying to get the momentum back in your favor.
Yeah, I was really pleased with how we fought through a little bit of adversity there. Obviously, we as a program, you go from the perspective of Brian Hallinan scoring their first state tournament goal in program history to your first time dealing with a delay on a video review, and on top of that, all of a sudden it's taken away. And so I'm sure the officials made the right call. There's no question there. That's why they're here, and our officiating was outstanding tonight. But certainly the guys were real confident as we came out of that, and we scored pretty quick after. I don't remember the exact time. It was pretty quick, and it was the same group of three guys on the ice at that point that scored. And so I thought that was important for us, and we had some good momentum at that point.
Coach, down 3-1 through two periods, what did you even say to the team in that spot? I mean, certainly not the position you want to be in, but there's plenty of time left.
Yeah, in the locker room between the second and third, we just talked about who we are as a brotherhood of guys, and how we were going to continue to trust each other and work together, and we were going to do little things right, play on top of pucks, and we were going to work hard and dedicated to that process that it takes to compete in big situations. And down two is not something we've been accustomed to this year, but our leadership and our experience, I thought we played a pretty darn good third period, and their goalie was outstanding, and hats off to Monticello. They worked incredibly hard all 51 minutes, and their goaltender was very good, and they did some good things defensively in terms of they had a lot of sticks on pucks. They spent a lot of time inside of us between their net and the puck, and they really competed in those areas. And we had a lot of good looks, and obviously the one went to review there late, and obviously things from our perspective, if that had been overturned, I don't think we'd be having the same conversation we are right now. And so we just, in the locker room, back to your question, we just went with the perspective of we're going to rely on each other. We know what we're here to do, and like I said, I thought we played really well in the third period, and we had a lot of great looks. And sometimes the puck just doesn't bounce for you, and that was the situation as the third period progressed.
Introduce your player, please.
This is senior captain Ben Meyers.
Coach, how much has the senior class meant to you, and how much have you grown with it since taking over the reins of the program?
It's hard to put into words, this group. I was speaking with another guy from KRWC yesterday or 2 days ago at practice, and was a little bit emotionally overwhelmed by the perspective of no matter what happened. And certainly we had our sights set on Saturday at noon. But the fact that no matter what was going to happen on Saturday, this was going to be our last time to be together, and that's really tough. And there's no doubt that the relationship with each player is a little bit different. There's some guys that have been easy to connect with, and some guys that we've had to work at it and grow together. And you mentioned growing. When I started coaching, it was very easy for me to coach players that were at a very basic development level, and that was teaching hard work and simple approach was easy with them. And as a junior varsity coach, I felt like it was my job to progress them to varsity hockey as soon as possible. And so taking over for Steve Brown 3 years ago and inheriting a really, really strong program that he had built, and this group of guys that our youth program had built, it really had to change my perspective. And as we often talk about, and I try to remind the guys when I make mistakes that I'm still learning with you, and we're all trying to be our best. And so, there were moments tonight that I wish I would have been a little bit better for our guys, specifically our senior class. But you go and do the best you can in the moment, and we're going to get ready for tomorrow morning.
How tough was it to get going with all the poke checking that Monticello and Annandale Maple Lake was doing whenever you guys had a rush towards the net?
Hats off to them. They played well defensively. They worked really hard, and but I don't know.
get that every game. You just work through it, do your best, and I thought we generated our chances, and we had about 3 or 4 pucks that just sat on the goal line and just didn't go. And yeah, I guess hats off to them. I mean, they held us to 2 goals, and yeah, just kind of in shock, I guess.
When you scored that goal early in the third, did you think that momentum was starting to change your way, given that the goal was so early?
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna win the game, the whole game. I mean, I thought we were gonna win. So I mean, you have to think that way. So
As a coaching staff, we didn't talk about the timing of when things needed to happen, but, you know, in the hallway, we said, man, if we pop one the first 3, they're gonna deflate, our fans are gonna explode, and those things happened, except for they didn't deflate, they just kept sticking to their defensive game, and they did a nice job. They were willing to take a few icings, and they did a nice job getting the puck outside of their blue line and making us, you know, counter back and continue to try to keep taking the zone.
Speaking of your fans, how awesome do you think their support has been? They're pretty much filling an entire side of an arena. How great is that to see, with students taking up pretty much an entire section?
yeah, it's incredible. I mean, they've been behind us the whole year, and you know, it's just win or lose. It was a great game to be a part of, and had a blast out there. So.
I know as a program, this is a marquee moment for us. Not the loss, but the experience. That's super tough to not come away, and obviously expectations were high, and being the 2 seed, you know, puts you in an interesting spot. But the fans have been remarkable, and throughout the year, not just when things are rolling, and not when it was a convenient drive to Orono, but if, you know, we're up in Duluth or we're all over the place. Our friends, these guys, classmates, our parents, you know, alumni are following us all over and supporting us, and it's been really, really, it's just been a privilege to be on the receiving end of that, and we're so appreciative.
Talked a little bit about the replays, Coach, for either of you with the reviews. How do you think it kind of affected the game, both I guess, in just in the results of them, but also in kind of, I don't know, the way it kind of stunts gameplay a little bit, things like that. I mean, certainly they were both longer reviews with the way they were close calls.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, because any other game, that first goal we scored, it's a goal. So, I mean, right after they called it off, we were all on the bench. You know, let's move on. There's nothing we can do about it now. So, but yeah, it was unfortunate. But I mean, they made the right call, I guess. So.
Any other questions? Coach, players, thank you very much.